Rogue judges sabotaging deportations are now being arrested, and like clockwork, Democrats are defending them. Representative Jamie Raskin wants Trump officials arrested for, quote, kidnapping judge who helped illegal alien evade arrest. Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland wants Trump officials arrested on charges of kidnapping. On Friday afternoon, Judge Hannah Dugan of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was arrested on charges of obstructing an ICE operation. This was confirmed according to FBI Director Kash Patel. As a response, in an interview with MSNBC's Rachel Maddow, aka Mad Cow, Raskin accused Trump officials of, quote, kidnapping Dugan and interfering with a legal proceeding.
The first felony criminal charge brought against Judge Hannah Dugan in Wisconsin is interfering with a legal proceeding, which is essentially what they've been doing all along. What Judge Boasberg is about to hold them in criminal contempt for, and has found that there is probable cause for criminal contempt, is that they deliberately ignored and defied his order not to take off in those airplanes headed for El Salvador and not turning the airplanes around. So on the logic of this arrest of Judge Dugan, all of the people in the Trump administration who participated in defying that order by Judge Boasberg themselves could be arrested for interfering with a legal proceeding and perhaps other criminal charges like kidnapping. And everybody who aspires and attains to public office in America, regardless of which branch they're in, is just a servant of the people, and the people need to manifest their outrage about these assaults on judicial independence.
Representative Jamie Raskin is calling for the people to manifest their outrage. I think we know exactly what he means by that. Well, his people know. His NPC base knows exactly what he means by that. All of a sudden, Democrats are the side and political entity of law and order? Give me a break. Democrat Wisconsin state legislator says judge arrested for obstructing ICE was obstructing fascism, doing what all of us will be called to do in the days and weeks and months to come. Wisconsin State Assemblyman Ryan Clancy came out in defense of Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan's shielding of an illegal alien and apparent domestic abuser from ICE agents, saying she obstructed fascism by helping the illegal alien evade detection and misleading agents. Clancy made these comments during an episode of CNN's Out Front.
Dugan was in her right in doing what she did. She didn't obstruct justice. She obstructed fascism in this case.
Because you're saying obstructing justice would be if this had been a court order signed by a judge, which it was not. So, as
right.
you know, yeah.
Right. Even in that case, it does not make sense. We should not have ICE agents in a protected space like a courtroom any more than you'd want ICE agents going into an operating room or a classroom. Those have historically been protected spaces that are off limits to ICE, and with good reason. You want people feeling safe and secure in a courthouse, either to come to their own trials or to testify against others. And this is really just an attack on the judicial system, which is historically a check and balance on unobstructed executive power. That's what we're seeing from the Trump administration. I mean, she's a prominent, respected member of the Milwaukee legal community. She is not part of any radical community, and I should know because I am. She's been a respected judge and a lawyer for many years without apparent controversy. Targeting her makes no sense. And I think it really is designed to have a chilling effect on state and local officials and on anybody who would push back on the Trump regime.
How far is she willing to go? I mean, if it means serving time in jail, if it ever gets to that sort of a thing, is that something you think she'd be willing to do?
I mean, I'm not going to speculate as to whether or not she's willing to serve time in jail. It is absolutely ludicrous that these charges were brought to begin with. Somebody had just asked me this morning, what can we do to support Judge Dugan? And I said, well, obviously, there aren't going to be charges brought because she hasn't done anything wrong. And several hours later, she was in handcuffs. So this is not something that anybody anticipated. I think, nobody is trying to be a hero here, but Judge Dugan is doing what all of us will be called to do in the days and weeks and months to come. And it's standing up for people in our community that are being targeted by the Trump regime.
The doublespeak is astonishing, isn't it? She is a hero, but she's a victim. She fought fascism, but she's a victim. She did what all of us are going to have to do in the coming months and days, but she's a victim. That is doublespeak. They're hypocrites. Cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis are 4 different diseases in 4 different areas of medicine. What if they can all be treated with parasite medication, and that turns out for these diseases to be true? What if I told you that if you had a pet or ate sushi, you are more likely to have parasites? This means that a lot of our ailments that we experience every day are caused not by environmental issues, but by parasites as well. This is something Big Pharma does not want you to know about. I know many of us check off many of these boxes. This is why Purge is offering their new liver cleanse products. For all of you out there that need to clear those toxins out once and for all, PurgeStore.com offers everything you need to cleanse and detox your body. Powerful enzymes and probiotics, 15-day colon cleanse protocols, liver cleanse, and of course, the parasite cleanse. Right now, if you go to PurgeStore.com and use promo code DREW, that's DREW, you will get 20% off your entire order. Use the link in the description below, PurgeStore.com, and support the Gateway Pundit today. The Gateway Pundit is supported by the people, we the people, that is you, the American people. We thank you for your support. Eric Holder criticizes Kash Patel for posting photo of Judge Dugan in handcuffs for obstructing arrest of illegal alien. Former Obama Attorney General Eric Holder criticized FBI Director Kash Patel for posting a photo of Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan in handcuffs on Friday after she was arrested on federal charges for obstructing ICE efforts to arrest an illegal alien outside of her courtroom on April 18th. Patel posted the photo of the back of Dugan with her hands in cuffs as she was being led away by FBI agents with the message, "No one is above the law." A second photo showing the heavy-set Dugan was secured by 2 pairs of handcuffs behind her back was posted by Fox Business anchor Elizabeth McDonald. Eric Holder's comments on Patel were reported by CNN. According to the confidentiality and media contacts policy listed on the Justice Department's website, DOJ personnel should not voluntarily disclose a photograph of a defendant unless it serves a law enforcement function or unless the photograph is already part of the public record in the case. Former Attorney General Eric Holder, who implemented the policy during the Obama administration, worked during his tenure to make it more difficult for members of the media to obtain photos of defendants, such as mugshots. Holder told CNN that Patel's social media post violates this policy. Whatever the issues with that judge did, they're trying to maximize intimidation, Holder said in a statement to CNN. Of course they're going to be triggered by this. It's rules for thee, but not for me. Their criminal political operatives were never supposed to be arrested. Well, now they are. And this is just scratching the surface. We need more. Disgusting. Democrat Minnesota lawmakers kill legislation to report repeat violent criminals to ICE following testimony by a man whose mother was beheaded by an illegal alien. Minnesota Democrats killed an amendment to a crime and public safety bill that would require law enforcement agencies to report illegal aliens to ICE when they are arrested for a violent crime, ignoring the pleas of a man whose mother was brutally murdered and beheaded by an illegal alien. The victim's son testified in favor of the amendment last month in the state house. He told lawmakers the horrific story of how his mother was abused, nearly lit on fire, and ultimately beheaded in Shakopee, Minnesota by a violent illegal alien who had prior felony arrests and convictions. Following the testimony, Democrats voted against Republican Max Reimer's amendment to House File 2432 that would require these individuals to be referred to ICE when taken into custody.
When I think about what this amendment means and why it's important, I had a testifier. His name was Charles Theyre, and his mom, America Theyre, was brutally murdered and beheaded by a multiple convicted and awaiting felony conviction Cuban illegal immigrant. And instead of saying, we're going to do the hard work to address his testimony, which was harrowing. And he said at the very end, he doesn't see how this is a partisan issue. Instead of doing the hard work and acknowledging the suffering that he went through and the specific situation that led his mother to that fate that day in Shakopee, we had an attorney testifier come in and say, you know what? It's really hard to deport people back to Cuba. And then I went and did my own research. And in President Trump's first term, we actually deported 1,900 people to Cuba. This bill This bill would have caught that problem early, would have caught that person early, and increased the communication between local law enforcement and the people who are most appropriate to deal with it. I think about that man every day. I think about his mom every day. And that's why this bill is important. Because that crime, which could have been prevented, it happened in Shakopee. It happened in Shakopee, and it could have happened in St. Cloud. It could have happened in Carver County. It could have happened in North Branch, where I live. This bill does make us safer because it increases the communication between all pertinent law enforcement that needs to be involved in situations like that. I ask for your green vote, and I ask you to consider, if you have a red vote, what you will go back to your community and say.
Well, unfortunately, this is the brutal reality of illegal immigration and replacement migration. These rapists, these child molesters, these serial killers are brought here from the third world to execute you, me, our family, our loved ones, our fellow Americans. That's the operation here. And in my opinion, that's why Democrats do nothing about it, because that is the agenda. We are the ones that want law and order, and they're fighting against it. It's obvious. My name is Drew Hernandez for the Gateway Pundit, and you have been on Watch with Drew Hernandez. I'll see you guys on the next one.